I'm heading home for a blind date, and my parents have already gone full matchmaking brochure mode on a video call. Mom holds up a glossy pamphlet that screams, "Shady Pines Retirement Community" in a cheerfully terrifying font. Dad waves a different one, "Evergreen Meadows Assisted Living," like it's an upgrade. I'm an only child. What was I supposed to do? Ethan White, 26. Bachelor's from Seaport Institute of Technology. One previous relationship. Parents alive and well. Good pensions. Only child. Homeowner. Drives a decent car. My parents read it like it's a product spec. Across from me sits Sarah Jenkins, 27. No previous relationships. PhD candidate at Seaport University, teaching for sections in the English department. Both parents are professors. She has an older brother with a family. I study her like she's a rare book, cool, crisp, immaculate, the kind of woman students probably put on a pedestal. She's way out of my league. I knew it. Time for a graceful exit. Well, it was great to meet you. We should do this again sometime. I try to leave, but she says it's raining outside. You're not just going to leave me, are you? The way she says it makes me feel like a jerk, so I stay. Our matchmaker was a friend of my aunt. Carol? Aunt Carol's matchmaking is basically military grade. I couldn't afford to cross her. The coffee shop is quiet. Sarah is quiet. I end up carrying the conversation. Knowing she probably won't be interested, I decide to be brutally honest. I answer every question directly, even the one about my ex. She dumped you because she thought you lacked ambition? That you just coasted? You played video games after work and only made 12 grand a month? She asks the million-dollar question, how much did my ex make? I take a breath and spell it out. First year after graduation, 6 grand a month. Second year, 35. Third year, she dumped me. A real estate agent selling luxury condos, Sarah says. Makes sense, she'd be pragmatic? Did you ever think about walking in there one day and buying one of those condos from her? My eyelid twitches. You'd think it's a joke too, right? She gives a small, real smile. Let's give this a try. I'm getting a good feeling. When both sets of parents sign off, things move fast. Third date, we hold hands. Fifth, we hug. Seventh, we kiss her first kiss, awkward and tentative, and I believe her. On the 8th date, I meet her parents, professors, 2-story house in a leafy suburb. I show up with an absurdly expensive bottle of wine my parents insisted on. Sarah meets me at her gated entrance. Don't be nervous, she says. My parents are laid back. To help with the break the ice thing, she's invited her best friend over. Sounds fine, except when I walk in, besides her parents, there's another guy about our age. I assume he's her brother. She introduces him with a grin. Ethan. This is my guy, my best friend, Chris Gordon. He's like a brother to me. Chris drapes an arm casually over her shoulders and looks at me with this smug, possessive glint. My stomach drops. A girlfriend with a male best friend who behaves like that? Red flag. Please, have a seat, Sarah's mom says, offering tea. I raise a hand. Ma'am, something's come up. I have to go. Her face flickers with shock. Sarah looks panicked. I point at Chris's arm. Dr. Jenkins, for a family of academics, your daughter doesn't seem to get basic boundaries. It's a brutal thing to say, insulting to tenured professors, but it lands. They finally see the awkwardness in the room, their daughter practically clinging to a man who isn't family. Sarah rushes over, grabs my hand. You're misunderstanding, she pleads. Chris and I are like siblings. Nothing's ever been between us. If there had been, I say, stepping back, my voice cold, I wouldn't be here, right? Chris laughs like it's all a misunderstanding. And then, like something snaps, Sarah's mom spins and slaps Chris across the face. Her father's expression goes black with anger, his eyes burned into Chris with pure contempt. We were all adults. We all knew exactly what kind of manipulative game he was playing. Grew up in diapers together? Please. Who was he trying to fool with that line? But Sarah didn't see it. She actually started defending him. Mom, Dad, can we just talk about this? Why did you hit him? Then she turned to me, her voice shaking but serious. Ethan, I swear to you, there's nothing romantic between me and Chris. I nodded slowly. Maybe not for you. But what about him? See, as a man, I've never believed in the myth of a platonic guy best friend. Sarah was about to promise to cut ties when Chris panicked. He bowed deeply, pretending to be noble. I'm sorry. This is all my fault. I won't bother Sarah anymore. His performance was pathetic. I'd seen this move before. Play the victim, win her sympathy. Classic. Even Sarah's parents saw it. Her mom almost stepped forward, but her dad held her back. It was time for their daughter to face the truth herself. In the end, Sarah couldn't let go of a 20-year friendship. But she couldn't let me leave either. She stood in the doorway, tears in her eyes. Ethan, please believe me. I cut her off. I believe you. I just don't believe him. Then I turned to Chris. We're both men. Drop the act. You're in love with her. You've been keeping her to yourself all these years. Sarah's 27 and never had a boyfriend. That's on you. His face went pale. He stammered, pointing at me. You're making things up. That's slander. I was done talking. I slapped him hard, then kicked him down. While he was on the floor, I grabbed his phone, used his face to unlock it, and started scrolling. What a fool, he didn't even hide it. In seconds, I found a hidden album. Hundreds of photos of Sarah. Most looked innocent, until they didn't. Shots of her sleeping, getting out of the shower, passed out drunk. All taken without her knowing. Give me back my phone. He yelled, struggling. I tossed it to Sarah's mom. Ma'am, seems like your investment wasn't well protected. Her father saw the photos and snapped. He kicked Chris in the ribs. Sarah's mom scrolled, her face turning dark. Then she slapped her daughter, turned back, and started stomping on Chris herself. Her husband tried to stop her. I sighed. Honestly, I liked her fire. A woman like that? Her daughter would never dare cross me. I turned to leave. Both parents just sighed, not stopping me. But Sarah chased after me. Ethan, please. I didn't know about those photos. I'm a victim too. I looked her in the eye. Sarah, you know what kind of man I am? If you ever cheated on me, I'd do something far worse than this. Public humiliation would be the least of it. Are you ready to bet your life you'll never cheat? And that was it. Whatever we might have had ended right there. The next day, my parents already had another blind date lined up. I told them I wasn't ready too soon. They didn't listen. They pulled out their retirement brochures again, and this time, Aunt Carol showed up in person to make sure I went. We sat at another coffee shop. I groaned, Aunt Carol. I just need a break. Without a word, she pulled a folded paper from her bag. My obituary. Your grandmother gave me this, she said. She can live without a granddaughter, but not without a great-grandchild. You want me to read it aloud? I gave up. There was no escaping her. That's when Chloe Vance walked in right on time. Aunt Carol pretended to be a random customer in the corner. I don't have a guy best friend, Chloe said immediately. No honorary brothers, no weird cousins, and just 2 ex-boyfriends, both ancient history. Guess word about my last disaster spread fast? She was only 23, bubbly, and full of energy. Nothing like Sarah's cold perfection. She was bright, funny, the kind of girl who made you forget everything. For 2 weeks, we were inseparable. Movies, concerts, Comic-Cons. She was affectionate, playful, and genuine. Or so I thought. Sometimes, though, she'd sneak away to take strange phone calls. I didn't ask. Maybe I should have. One night, I dropped her off at her luxury condo. She grabbed my arm. Ethan, my cat, can do backflips. You want to see? Her apartment was beautiful, sleek, expensive, scented like vanilla and sugar. We started kissing, and she giggled. Wait right here, Ethan Bear. I'm gonna get clean and pretty for you. I have a surprise. She disappeared into the bathroom. I collapsed on her bed, heart racing, then froze. A red light blinked. On the nightstand, a teddy bear stared back, one eye glowing faintly. A camera. I scanned the room. At least 4 of them, hidden inside stuffed animals, all aimed at the bed. My blood ran cold. When she came out, She tossed me a pink bathrobe. Your turn. I took my time, 20 minutes in the shower. While she was gone, I'd already hidden my phone among her stuffed animals. Camera rolling. When I came back, she was waiting under the covers, lights dimmed to a seductive red. I didn't join her. I picked up my phone and hit play. Her voice echoed through the speaker. Master, my boyfriend's in the shower now. Master, do I really have to? With him? Her face turned to stone. Shock, fear, panic, all flashing at once. So that was her secret. No guy best friend, no exes, just a dom, her master. And I was their next project. I stared at her. Chloe, I've got one last gift for you. You were so ashamed when I found out that you slit your wrists in the bathtub? Sounds believable, doesn't it? Her knees gave out. She fell to the floor, gasping, and somewhere in the background, I heard the faucet turn on full blast. 20 minutes later, I was sitting in a chair while Chloe, now fully dressed, knelt on the floor, waiting for her master to arrive. I told her to get up, but she refused. When I insisted, she just whispered, I'm used to it. I clenched my fists, then let them go. You can't reason with an animal. If a dog bites you, you don't bite it back. Her dom, Felix Young, showed up fast. Ethan, I'm sorry. Name your price. Tell me what you want. I'll give you anything. Felix was one of the heirs to the Young family fortune, a second-tier dynasty in Seaport City. Early 30s, slick, confident, and full of fake apologies. He kept insisting this was all a misunderstanding. Said his thing with Chloe wasn't a real DS relationship, just a game. Claimed her parents were pressuring her to get married, that she and I had a real connection, that she was serious about me. He even said he'd ended their game for good and guaranteed she was still a virgin, that all their sessions were online only. I was welcome to check for myself. His story lined up perfectly with Chloe's, but I wasn't buying any of it. Sorry, Mr. Young, I said, but I don't believe a word you or your pet say. I already called the police. What? His cool, confident face twisted in disbelief. But being raised in a rich family, he recovered fast. The arrogance came right back. Ethan, call the cops. On what charge? That your girlfriend put cameras in her own bedroom. That's not a crime. I nodded. Felix laughed. Jesus, you're an idiot. A legal illiterate. Chloe, get up. Let this clown make a scene. Dump him. Chloe looked at him, then at me, and said something that shocked us both. Felix, I'm not your sub anymore. I found a new dom. He's stronger and more of a man than you'll ever be. I was speechless. I thought she'd lost her mind. But Felix's face went pale. Chloe had a serious dependency problem. No way. She broke free that easily. He spun toward me. What did you do to her? I had no idea what he meant. I'd only scared her a little in the bathroom. Okay, maybe I'd recorded a few things she did willingly, but still. Then the doorbell rang. I stood up and gestured toward him. After you, Mr. Young. Let's see who really writes the laws you love. Quoting. 2 police officers were at the door. I stepped forward. I'm the one who called. I suspect these 2 are part of an international pornography ring. I wasn't joking, and Felix knew it. On the way to the station, he demanded to make a phone call, bragging about his family name. The officer looked at me uneasy, but finally agreed. Felix really thought I was just some random guy. When we arrived at the precinct, a sharp-looking lawyer was already waiting for him. Meanwhile, a simple, calm man was waiting for me. I didn't dare show anything but respect. I walked right up to him. Leo, what are you doing here? Is this going to be a problem? Leo was only 30, but his square jaw and calm authority made him look older. A problem? He said. Ethan, with me here. The only one with a problem is him. He nodded toward Felix. Isn't that right, Mr. Young? Felix's lawyer froze, then bowed deeply. Leo is correct. He turned to his client. Mr. Young, please give the police a full and honest confession. Felix wasn't stupid. He realized too late he'd messed with someone he shouldn't have. Now he understood what I meant about who really writes the law. He wanted to beg, but even on his knees it wouldn't have mattered. He was done. After I gave my statement and signed the report, I was free to go. Leo gave me a few quiet words of advice and left. Chloe wasn't detained. She was officially listed as a victim who'd been coerced into criminal activity. An attempted crime? And the evidence? Felix's lawyer made sure it existed. He'd called me a legal illiterate, turns out. He was the one who didn't understand law, politics, or power. He was just another rich kid. I was connected. My uncle had just been promoted, still mid-level, powerful enough to crush a spoiled brat like Felix. A rising tide lifts all boats. And I was one of them. Chloe clung to my sleeve. "Ethan, your aunt tricked me." She said her husband only had 3 people under his authority. I smirked. "He does. 2 daughters. And me. That's 3. She hugged my arm. "Ethan, can I be your sub?" I shook my head. "I'm not into that. It's chaos. You'll only lose yourself." I gave her an address. "Go there tomorrow. You'll find a surprise." She didn't understand, but she agreed. The next day she went. The sign on the door read the Clarity Center for Psychological Counseling. She let out a bitter laugh, then squared her shoulders and walked in. My dating saga wasn't over. They gave me 2 days off before my grandmother got involved. On a video call, she held up a tiny antique bottle labeled arsenic. Handwritten. I gave in instantly. This time, it wasn't a coffee shop, it was a high-end tea lounge. An upgrade, at least. "Ethan White, what are you spacing out for?" A woman's voice called. I looked up. I'd recognize that voice even if I were dead. It was my boss, Jessica Thorne. She looked and acted like the villainess straight out of a fantasy drama. We called her the Ice Queen, or Darth Jessica. Just that afternoon, she'd slammed a project on my desk, called it garbage, chewed me out for 30 minutes straight without repeating a single insult. She'd told me to stay late and redo the whole thing. And yet, here I was. I sat down nervously. "Miss Thorne, what a coincidence. You like tea too?" Smack. She tossed a folder onto the table. "If you have no objections, sign it." I rolled my eyes. "Ma'am, I'm here for a blind date, not a performance review." And I opened it and froze. It was a 5-year marriage contract. A prenup, 12 pages long, filled with strict terms. I skimmed through no sex for 5 years and a $5 million payout if we divorced. So that was it. I was the placeholder husband while she waited for her true love to return. Miss Thorne. I said, in movies, guys like me get paid hundreds of millions for this deal. You're not very good at this. Jessica spat out her tea, furious. You watch too many stupid movies. Do you ever talk without thinking? Is that a threat? I asked, pushing the folder back. Because if you're not negotiating in good faith, we're done here. This contract was insane, just like her temper. Whoever signed it was signing up for 5 years of migraines. And probably infidelity. Her expression darkened. Why not? Why won't you sign? It was after hours. I wasn't scared of her anymore. Because in 5 years, your long-lost love will come back, and my pure, untouched wife will run off with him and her billions, leaving me with $5 million. Jessica's face turned red. Runs off? It's called a divorce. And if the money's the problem, we can discuss it. I shook my head. If I sign, we sleep together tonight. And once a day, every day, for the next 5 years. No interruptions, she sneered. Pathetic. So it's a no-go, I said, standing up. You know, Steve from marketing's got a huge crush on you. He'd sign that in a heartbeat. Maybe even pay you. Jessica looked disgusted, then asked one last question. What if I agreed to the sex? I laughed. Then in 5 years, my wife runs off with my money and our 3 kids. That did it. She completely lost it, spat in my face, snatched the folder, and stormed out. Ugh. As if I'd ever have kids with you. I want that proposal on my desk first thing tomorrow morning. Another one who couldn't handle the heat. I didn't even dare go home after that disaster, so I headed to my aunt and uncle's place instead. Security there was tighter than a government building. Both of them were home. My cousins were out. Well, look who it is, my uncle said. Back already? Another swing and a miss for our boy Ethan? My aunt shot him a warning look. It was that Thorne girl today, wasn't it? You work at her company? I thought you two would have hit it off by now. Jessica Thornell was scowling, always ready to explode. Who in their right mind would fall for that? I gave them a short version of what happened. My aunt's face turned serious. I heard her fiancé went bankrupt and ran off. She probably wanted to use you as a stand-in. Good thing you didn't fall for it. A woman who wants her cake and to eat it too? Bad news. Stay away from her. I'll find you someone better, I protested, but my aunt just smiled sweetly. My uncle reached into his pocket and pulled out a small pill box engraved with 3 blood-red words. Nightshade, I sighed, dropping to my knees in mock surrender. We really keeping the family blind date tradition alive, huh? The next location was Weirdsome Women's Spiritual Retreat Center. I didn't go. To be precise, I didn't dare go. The woman was a devout spiritualist. It wasn't that I had a problem with faith. I had a problem with people who hide behind it. Instead, I agreed to a setup from a college buddy. Fancy fusion restaurant. Private room. 20 minutes later, 2 women walked in. They were fine, but nowhere near the level of my last few dates. My buddy's network clearly wasn't as strong as my aunt's. Ethan White, I'm your date. Anna Sheridan. She wore a simple white dress and yellow flats just like my first love. My heart sank. My friend had set me up. Anna's friend stayed standing. There's a condition, she said. If Anna's going to marry, the man has to deposit $1 million into a joint account. It's not a dowry, it's for your shared future. And you'll send Anna cash gifts every holiday. Remember to write freely given on the notes. I stared at them. The internet scam had come to life. Without a word, I took out my phone and dialed 911. Double quotes. Yes, officer. I'd like to report an in-person internet fraud. Amount. 1 million. Anna's calm broke instantly. Wait. You can't call the police, my friend was just joking. I cut her off. So are you scammers or comedians? Let the cops decide. They ran. I didn't stop them. I had everything recorded. Attempted fraud doesn't always lead to arrest, but $1 million? That's a big deal. Some poor guy probably had fallen for it before. When the police arrived, explained everything, handed over the recording, and left. First thing I did after walking out, blocked my college buddy. Then I left our alumni group. Then blocked a few others who tried to defend him. Finally dash peace until my aunt called. Ethan, did you stand up Savannah Tang? She's a woman of deep faith. You can trust her completely, I sighed. Auntie, I'm not spiritual. We'd clash. But I didn't say that out loud. I just agreed to everything and planned to stall. The next afternoon, back at the office, Steve Peterson, Jessica's #1 simp, cornered me. Ethan, you re-single, right? Perfect. One of our biggest clients is also single. Miss Thorne wants you to meet her right now. Trust me, she'll love you. Before I could refuse, he practically dragged me to Jessica's office. Inside sat Miss Pierce, billionaire client. Mid-30s, divorced, gorgeous, and built like every man's dream. Steve grinned. Ethan White, top university grad. Looks like a movie star. 6'1", great stamina. Perfect for you, was he selling me? Miss Pierce stood, took my hand, and smiled. I've had my eye on you. Marry me. I'll give you 5% of my company's stock. We'll have kids, and they'll inherit everything. I blinked. Wow. Miss Pierce, you're a billionaire for a reason. Even your proposal beats Jessica's ridiculous contract. Jessica frowned and leaned in to whisper something in her ear. Miss Pierce's expression froze. She gave me one last look, then walked out. Jessica leaned back, clearly pleased. What did you say to her? I asked. She smirked. Told her I'd been in your bed and that you're all sizzle, no steak? My jaw dropped. You ruined my reputation. Why would you do that? Darth Jessica. She hissed, furious. That nickname hit a nerve. Ethan White. Are you trying to get fired? Fine by me, I said. She slammed a document on the desk. Termination agreement. Effective immediately. Signed without hesitation, adding my thumbprint for good measure. See, you never, Darth Jessica. But then laughter. She grabbed the paper and locked it in her safe. You didn't escape me that easily. You just signed the marriage contract. You set me up. Jessica's lips curved into a sly smile. You said if we signed it, we'd have to sleep together tonight. Still game? Of course not. Not when all we had was attraction and chaos. The contract wasn't legal anyway. But quitting my job? That would have been more trouble than it was worth. Later that evening, in the company parking lot, a woman stepped in front of me. You're Ethan White, right? I'm Savannah Tang. Your aunt set us up. Ah, I said, so you're the spiritual one. Savannah sighed. My dad works with your uncle. He's one rank below him. Get it? I got it. At that level, one rank was a canyon. I'm not spiritual. We're not compatible. I'll talk to my aunt. Why don't we give it a try? She said softly. Those words again. My curse. Everyone who said let's give it a try turned out to be insane. Sorry, I blurted. I just got a girlfriend. Jessica's car pulled up right then. I waved her over. Yeah, her. Savannah's eyes widened. Jessica. Don't you have a fiance? Jessica smirked. Ex-fiancé. Ethan's mine now. You planning to start drama over him? Savannah glared at me. Don't fall for her. She's just after your connections. At least I'm not secretly in love with my uncle. Jessica shot back coldly. Savannah's fists clenched. He was adopted by my grandfather. He's still your uncle, Jessica said with a smirk. Definitely disgusting, I added. Savannah burst into tears and ran off. I sighed. You're my kryptonite, Jessica. You've ruined 2 dates in 1 day. She crossed her arms. Or maybe I saved you from 2 disasters. Now pack your things, you're coming on a business trip with me. The next thing I knew, we were on a plane headed overseas. When did we start doing international business? I asked for the 13th time. Jessica snapped. Ask again, and I'll throw you off the plane. New York City. A car met us at the airport and drove us straight to a massive private estate. We were handed an envelope with 2 invitations sealed in red wax and 2 masks. A masquerade ball. Invitation only. Inside, the place was pure luxury, overflowing with elegance and excess. Jessica was hunting for someone her ex, I guessed. Keep your eyes to yourself, or I'll gouge them out, she hissed. Wow, possessive, too. 6 feet tall. Medium length hair. Left ear earring, Asian. Keep an eye out for him. The party was massive, people inside, people outside. Even in the pool, and that's when everything started to spiral again. Finding one masked man in that crowd was nearly impossible. But if you look long enough, you'll find what you're looking for. Jessica spotted him first. She grabbed my hand, and we followed him up to the 2nd floor of the mansion. He was clearly in a hurry. The moment we reached his door, we heard muffled moans from inside. Jessica froze, her eyes wide. She took a deep breath, then actually turned to leave. No way. We didn't fly halfway across the world just to stand outside listening to 3 seconds of noises through a door. I pushed it open, Jessica gasped. Her face turned pale, panic and fear mixing in her eyes. Was she afraid to face the truth? Or afraid of what she might see inside? This time, I took control. I pulled her close, lifted her into my arms, and stepped inside. A man sat on the bed, chatting with 2 women, one white, one black. When he saw us, he grinned and said in English, "Hey friends, you like to party too?" I understood him perfectly, but I answered in our own language. "You're from back home, aren't you?" "Seaport City," he said. I froze. No way. What were the odds? I couldn't believe I'd run into someone from home in a place like this. He looked at Jessica in my arms and smirked. "Dude, your girl's hot." "Is she your girlfriend?" I held Jessica tighter. "Fiancé," I said. "You here alone?" He laughed as the women massaged his shoulders. "We broke up a long time ago. My ex-fiancé was so uptight, she wouldn't even let me hold her hand. A kiss before marriage? Forget it. The second I left the country, I finally started living. This is what freedom looks like, man. Jessica's tears soaked through my shirt. I nodded, playing along. Aren't you worried she'd find out? Ex-fiancé? He scoffed. That woman's a hopeless romantic. Bet you anything, when I go back, she'll come crawling right back to me. She's all sweet and submissive around me. I couldn't help it. Taya laughed quietly and whispered near Jessica's ear. Hopeless, huh? She bit down on my chest hard enough to make me wince. Her voice came out soft, but trembling. Let's go. This is disgusting. I nodded. Hey man, my fiancé can wait. We'll let you get back to your party? He looked disappointed. At least give me your number before you go. I ignored him. Jessica was right. The three of them were revolting. 2 days passed after we got back home. At work, Jessica acted completely normal, like nothing had happened. She was back to criticizing my reports and chewing me out daily. It made Steve, the office simp, ridiculously jealous. He even made a mistake on purpose, hoping she'd scold him too. Instead, she handed him a termination letter. I couldn't stop laughing. Jessica probably hated simps more than anyone. And honestly, Steve deserved it. After work, my aunt dragged me into another blind date. Coffee shop again. The moment I sat down, I knew it was a waste of time. The woman was divorced, her ex got custody of their kid. But judging by the designer outfit, she got a huge settlement. Ethan, it's the 21st century, she said. You don't mind that I'm divorced, right? I smiled politely. I mind a lot, but thanks, the coffee's on me. As soon as I left, I called my aunt. How could you do this to me? Even if I never find love, I'm not marrying a divorcee, at least not until I'm 35 and desperate. Fine, she said. If you didn't like that one, we'll move to the next. 10 seconds later, I got a text from her with a new address. A quiet lounge on North Bay Road, but this one was even weirder. My date didn't come alone. She brought her best friend. Ethan, she said. This is my best friend. She's also my girlfriend. Would you be open to the three of us living together? I'm the dominant one. I don't want kids, but she can have them for you. My brain short-circuited. After that date, I seriously considered blocking my aunt. But before I could, she called again. Ethan, another no-go. Don't worry, I'll set up another one, I sighed. Aunt Carol, be honest, was one of us adopted? There was silence on the line. Then her voice roared through the phone. You little punk. Are you looking for a beating? Don't make me chug this whole bottle of nightshade. Just hang in there, this is the last one. I'm out of options. Fine, I muttered. Hanging up, the final address was in a gated community in Seaport Hills. When I arrived, a butler greeted me. The homeowner is expecting you, sir. The house was a sleek, modern villa. I knocked on the door and there she was, Jessica Thorne. Jessica smiled, pulling me inside and tossing me a folder. Prenuptial agreement and new postnuptial one. After we're married, whoever cheats first forfeits everything to the other person. Your aunt, uncle, parents, even your grandmother, everyone's approved. I stared at her. What about you? That's when it hit me. Those 2 days she disappeared, she wasn't avoiding me. She was working behind the scenes. In just 48 hours, she'd managed to win over my entire family. Somehow, they all thought Jessica was the right one for me. Maybe. Deep down, I thought so too. But I pushed the thought away. This was my boss, Darth. Jessica noticed my hesitation and couldn't resist teasing me. She pinched my cheek. Whether this contract holds up depends on who's enforcing it, she said. Your uncle's still got 20 years of influence ahead of him. As long as he's in charge, this deal's ironclad. We can learn to love each other after we're married. So, do you dare to sign it this time? Her voice softened. She reached into her purse and pulled out a folded paper. It was a reservation. Certificate for a side-by-side burial plot. Your grandmother gave it to me, she said quietly. She told me a real family stays together through thick and thin. I felt something in me finally give way. Slowly, I picked up the pen.